And guys, today we'll be talking about the winners and losers of this year's NBA Combine. I actually burped midway through that, but I've already made who improved their stocks the most already. But today we'll just talk about the Combine as a whole. Let's get right into it. Like and subscribe. Shout out The Athletic. First off, the continuing bug in this Combine is, while no sane person thinks a potential top 5 pick will play basketball, the reluctance of many prospects to submit their health and medical examinations has been a sore spot. Like in the next CBA, they should require players who are entering the draft early to submit health and medical exams at the combine would effectively eliminate this problem. Next, the unwillingness to participate in 5-on-5 portion of the combine, even if they probably should, to improve their draft stock has been annoying. Because look, in 2021, we saw Joshua Primo, Josh Christopher, and Quentin Grimes all vault themselves into the first round by playing. With this year's solid play, Jalen Williams is another guy who's definitely going to be a first-round pick, potential lottery pick because of his play. And several other players who stood in pretty firm second-round territory might be borderline first-round picks in Marquette's Justin Lewis, Duke's Wendell Moore Jr., and others who had little to lose by playing on the 5-on-5. Jaden Hardy, Patrick Baldwin, and Max Christie all sat out, okay? And Justin Lewis and Wendell Moore, they didn't play, but if they played, they could have became first-round picks. But either way, guys, let's just talk about this. Orlando winning the lottery threw a monkey wrench in the draft. Most draft analysis have Jabari Smith going in the first round as the first overall pick, including myself, but John Hollinger Spies thinks that the Magic are leaning towards Chet Holmgren. Of course, that would play to their type. The front office track record reveals an obsession with length, so one can easily connect the dots there, but I really think they're not going to do it, and I think they're going to still go Jabari. But are the Magics just playing on their length-best reputation to bait Oklahoma City into trading up number 2? That's the whole thing. There's some rumors that they're trying to make Oklahoma trade up, and Sacramento's in a clear win now expectation, and several front office members on the last year of their contracts and the 4th pick in the draft burning a hole in their pockets. One suspects that the pick might be in play in return for some wing help, so they might trade that pick. And there's some other rumors that number 7, they're looking at trading the number 7 pick, the Trailblazers, for, our man, Jeremy Grant. And the other news is, all right, sister just texted me. All right, the big winner of the combine is Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams, I had a first-round grade either way on him, but first and foremost, he came in 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan. His standing reach came in higher than guys expected to play a lot of minutes at the 4, like EJ Liddell, David Rodney, Jake LaRavia, and Jabari Walker. Beyond that, Williams is a wing player who can handle the ball to collapse defense and make plays to his teammates off passes, as he's a former point guard who got a growth spurt, so he still has point guard ability. He knocks down threes at a 40% clip. Yes, there's some questions about his defensive ability, but he's long enough, big enough, and versatile enough to continue developing his frame in the NBA strength and conditioning program. And when Williams played both games, he just dominated. Now, the other, Terquavian Smith shut it down after the first scrimmage. He led the team in points with 17. It wasn't the most efficient outing, but he showcased real ability to get his shot whenever he wanted on the back of some strong athletic testing. You saw that he was in a good spot heading into the rest of the cycle, even if he only went 6 for 17, okay? And we just saw a lot about how low the standard is playing well and how much prospects can you get from, playing on another 5-on-5, so it's good to see that. And then Andrew Demar missed the first day, but he came in the final day with 26 points and 11 assists. His passing was a known quantity, but his ability to make pull-up jumpers off the dribble and pick and rolls made some people see that he could be a borderline first-round pick. Kofi Cockburn has some limitations as he's a traditional beast ball big man, but he had his best per minute score of any player. His frame, 7 foot with a 7'4" wingspan, made him a relatively safe pick as a backup 5. He's a second-round pick, but we saw Day'Ron Sharpe go in the first, so Cockburn is probably going to go maybe in the first. Then Drew Timme hit 4 3-pointers on the second day, 5 of 8 overall for the thing, and also had a legendary protest of a travel call against him. He's 6'9" with almost a 7-foot wingspan. He could pull it off as a 4. And Deron Sebron measured in at 6'6", not the 6'7" he was listed in college, and isn't a shooter, but his ability to get downhill and showed some variety of finishes at the rim again separated him. So Deron Sebron, Drew Timme, Kofi Coburn, Andrew Demar, Dequavian Smith, and Jalen Williams are the winners. And then the losers are Keon Ellis in a crowded field of shooting guards. Keon Ellis wasn't able to distinguish himself. He wasn't invisible, but just scored 9 points in 2 games and then was more of a defensive player. David Robbie missed all 6 of his three-pointers and was 5 of 17 overall from the field. Some scouts have seen enough of his shooting to trust the misfires from deep. We're in this video, so we're just going to run through this. After David Roddy, he was pretty disappointing. Leonard Miller, he had the lowest per-minute game score, and he missed so many three-point shots. He looked lost on defense. He might benefit from spending a year in the G League or college before jumping to the NBA. People are freaking out about Jake LaRavia. He pulled out after, looking like the best player in the shooting drills. He posted one of the best scores in lane agility. He showed the ability to defend guards out on the perimeter and switches, which was one of the concerns. And he kind of dropped out of, the combine because he tested more athletic than expected, and the mission was accomplished by the time Wednesday night rolled around. He's a guy who will go as early as 20. I don't think he'll fall out of the first round. And now let's talk about measurement guys. Mark Williams was 7'2" and 7'7", wingspan and 9'9" standing reach, second biggest of all time behind Taco Falls. Dyson Daniels measured in at almost 6'8" with almost 6'11" wingspan, 8'10" standing reach. He's enormous. He has elite size for a combo guard. John Davis tested better. He was 6'5", almost 6'6", with a 6'8" wingspan, I believe, with a standard reach at almost 8'8". Then Atari Eason, who came in with a quarter-inch smaller hands than Kawhi Leonard at 11 inches. Biggest hands at the combine, 7'2" wingspan on a 6'8" frame. Overtime elite forward Dom Barlow showed his size, athleticism, length, and shooting ability. He's 6'10" with a 9-foot standard reach and a 7'3" wingspan. And he seems like everybody's been hyping around Gene Montero for the overtime elite, but Don Barlow might be the first overtime elite player ever selected. Justin Lewis measured in at 6'7.5" with a 7'2.5" wingspan, while Leonard Miller measured in at 6'11" with a 7'2" wingspan. And both of those guys are reminiscent of size of OG Anunoby, Jeremy Grant, Christian Wood, and Pascal Siakam. So Barlow, Justin Lewis, and Millers might be, and these guys all went outside the top 20, so these guys could be picked at the end of the first round. Drew Timme came out at 6'9" with almost a 7-foot wingspan. Kendall Brown had an 8'7" wingspan. He's much more than a 4 size-wise, even with his athleticism. Purdue Trevion Williams, who's actually a center, came in at 6'8" with a 7'3" wingspan at a standard reach of 9'1". And Dalen Terry came in 6'7" with a 7'1". Okay? And then you had the G League Ignite camp that we saw Marcus Sasser out of Houston. He had some good moments. Then you saw Jared Roden from Seton Hall and Tyrese Martin from Connecticut. And, of course, Kenneth Lofton Jr. at Louisiana Tech. Lofton showed much more perimeter game than expected despite being visibly overweight. The lefty's capacity with the jab step moves from three-point line was particularly notable. And he earned a promotion to the G League Ignite and will potentially be a draft pick because of it. So I want to hear your thoughts. You can be a PJ. Talk about this video, guys.